Yo, people, welcome back again, man. Welcome to the Triggered Thoughts podcast. I'm your host, Verbz, and I'm here with another host,
Geniusdan.
Yes, Genius. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, you're all in blue today, blood. I see you changing up the thing. You're a crip.
I know,
You know, we always got these opening bars, man. Turn Snoop Dogg overnight, you know. What? Snoop D-O double jizzle. In the izzle for shizzle my nizzle. Bow wow.
Good job.
Man. But yes, people. All right. So, today's episode is a different type of episode, you know. After a little discussion, me and Genius has decided that today's episode is going to be focused on losing loved ones in tribute to our family member, my sister, Genius's cousin that passed away in August.
R.I.P.
Rest in everlasting peace, man. It's been a difficult year. You get me? You know?
Sure is.
My sister passed away at the age of suddenly after having an operation, caught an infection. Implications occurred with the infection, and she ended up with severe infection that led to sepsis and passed away. There's more details in what happened to her, but on behalf of, you know, our family and stuff, I'm not going to go into too much with that because I don't want to complicate things, you get me? Yeah, but that's basically what happened, and unfortunately we lost my sister. It's a very, very challenging and difficult and soul-destroying experience, man. Do you know what I mean? And one thing I would say, there was a stage in the month of August where me and Geniusdan, I don't know if you remember Genius, we discussed whether we was gonna take a break from podcasting. You remember that, yeah?
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
And what I said in response to Genius was that, you know, even though we had just started, my sister was a massive fan of what we was doing, and
I remember.
Yeah, she often came back with feedback to me, you know, or ways to improve or what ideas we can bring to the table and stuff like that. And she gave every episode a listen, and she said that she enjoyed it and stuff. And I just saw that as a fitting tribute to her to just continue. Yeah. That's one of the things that motivated me and Genius to just carry on and bring our podcast to the people, you get me?
Yeah, definitely.
You know? So yeah, what can I say, man? Losing loved ones, it's not easy at all, you know? We're living in a time now where it seems as though there's a lot of people losing loved ones, man. And it feels like it's happening more frequently than before. Would you say that, Geniusdan?
Yeah, I've noticed that it's happening an awful lot.
Yeah, most definitely. You
know, I'd say from 2020.
Yeah.
Onwards. Yeah, it just seems to be a regular occurrence.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree. You know, we're not going to put our finger on where we think that is. You know what I mean? But I think before we're giving labels and stuff like that, but I think there's a few contributing factors, you know, that has occurred and hasn't helped the situation. But it does seem as though, you know, just from my experience, from speaking to loads of other people, that a lot of people have been experiencing a lot of losses of loved ones in small spaces of time. It's like as you grieve one, another one's gone. It's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to say on that matter there, Genius?
But it was just unexpected.
Mm.
I'm still in shock, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Life is precious, man, and every day is a reminder to me to just live good with people and not take life for granted, because you just never know.
Totally agree with that.
I still have the last voice note that I've got from her. So even now, I just have to keep it secure. Obviously, as people change phones and whatnot, but yeah, it's the last voice note. And it's just man.
It's crazy, isn't it? Even like I got loads of voice notes from her, obviously the final week that she had and stuff like that, where I was talking to her and encouraging her to, call the ambulance and go to the hospital and stuff, because she didn't sound right, she sounded unwell. And, I got all those voice notes back and forth from us, between us, and I can't delete them, and I wouldn't delete them, because at the end of the day, they're a part of her and our relationship, and those voice notes have become dear to me. They're almost like sacred memories. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, like it's good to listen to them sometimes, but you gotta have a strong head. But it does help you to it helps me sort of like listen to it and smile. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes in a crazy way as well, though, Genius, when I listen to her voice notes, it's almost like it makes me feel like she's still here.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It sounds fresh, isn't it?
Yeah, it really does, man. It really does. So people, man, losing loved ones ain't easy. I'm sure we're not the only ones here that's lost loved ones. When you lose loved ones, it's so difficult. Sometimes you don't even know how to grieve, because some people would argue you have to grieve a certain way, but really and truly, there ain't no correct way how to grieve. Do you know what I mean?
That's correct. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, you just have to grieve. Everybody's different, and grieving could be just talking about that person and, focusing on the positive memories and stuff like that. Grieving could be looking at their photos and talking about them or remembering them. Grieving could be surrounding yourself around family, and they're there for you as a form of support when you're being challenged emotionally and you start crying or feeling sad or stuff. You got family to sort of pick you up. There's many different ways you can grieve. Grieving could be going to a therapist. Do you know what I mean? It could be going to a therapist. So at the end of the day, everyone's different. The grieving processes are different, and you have to just grieve in a way that suits or helps you.
Yeah, I agree. Everybody does the things differently.
This is it. You know what I mean? You lost your sister as well in the past, isn't it, Genius?
Yeah, a freak car accident.
Yeah. And how did that must have come as a shock to you?
I think it was even a bigger shock when, when the older sister decided to tell me, like, I don't know if it was like a month or so later. It was ridiculous.
What? Serious?
Yeah, man.
That's crazy, man.
Imagine.
Go on.
Huh?
Go on, what are you going to say?
To make it worse as well, my dad didn't even get any invite to his own daughters, but funeral. It was just really messed up, man.
It sounds like another bout of family politics.
Yeah, man.
Those are things that you
Yeah.
just don't need when you go through these situations, innit? But unfortunately, people, we all have people in our family that operate in a very, what's the word? I would say, in a very crazy, unnecessary manner. You know what I mean? It don't help. What did you do to, when you found out? What did you do that helped you grieve? Or was there anything in particular that you can remember that helped you kind of go through the grieving process successfully?
To be honest, it's a tricky one, man, because it was unexpected, and I didn't see her in ages, to be honest with you, because where they lived in, we kind of lost contact. If that makes sense. So
yeah,
it was, it was just a bit messed up, man.
So by the sounds of it, you didn't get to attend the funeral either.
No, I didn't.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's just all a mess, man. And that's the thing, when people break up, they sometimes it never goes well. There's a lot of animosity. People are spiteful, vindictive, bad mind, you name it. Sad. People hold resentment.
Definitely.
And that's the thing. There was no reason, why my dad, shouldn't have been invited. But yeah, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. Well,
in terms of great, to be honest with you, because it was where I just think I was just probably more in shock. I don't think it really settled in, to be honest with you, that she had passed. So it was really weird. I know, for a long period of time, I was just thinking about it.
Yeah.
I was deeply saddened, but it wasn't like like we were really close. Like, it's just weird. Where, as I said before, I've got loads of siblings. It was just weird. It was just weird, man.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I heard obviously when it came to delivery, because she was on her way to college, and she got into an altercation with another vehicle. But it so happened to be the people in the other vehicle escaped with, I think, a fractured leg or some few broken stuff, but they were fine. She was the only one that died in this accident.
Was she the driver?
Well, she was driving, and yeah, she was the only one in the car. But obviously, somehow there was an accident involving another vehicle. All the people in the other vehicle survived. She was the only one that passed away. I heard, when she passed, I heard that she was passing, or she was just crying or calling for her mom. Something like that.
That's what usually tends to happen when people feel like they're gonna pass away. It's a very vulnerable situation, but understandably so, but still sad all the same, man.
Yeah. Yeah, they received my sister got a knock at the door by the police. And I think, yeah, it's that knock, that just receiving that knock. It's that knock that not everybody wants to receive. Nobody wants to receive that. And knock at the door and seeing two police there bearing bad news,
100%. 100%, man. Boy, I just want to give a little shout out to my sister on a freestyle, you know what I mean? And, even though my sister's not here with us in person, I believe she's here with us in spirit. That's what I believe, you know what I mean? And she's up there, with God. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I see it, man. And, my sister was a beautiful soul, you know what I mean? She had challenges, she had difficulties, she faced adversity, from a young age, upwards, especially with her biological father. And that was the main contributing factor that I believe caused her some significant trauma, because the biological father basically weren't putting his socks up. And the reason why I mentioned that is because I just think, although we're talking about losing loved ones, I think fathers out there, when you're in a position where you have children, sometimes you have to push your ego to one side, because I don't think a lot of people understand that rejection can spark some serious mental health issues. Do you know what I mean? You will make a child believe that they're not good enough. You'll make a child always grow up questioning themselves. Why does my dad not pay attention to me? Why does my dad not come here and, give me time? I don't know if you remember that very deep episode of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air when Will's dad came. You remember that?
No, I don't,
Nah.
No, I don't.
Very good episode. And if you saw the documentary of it when, the guy that plays Uncle Phil.
Yeah.
He basically said to, I might be going off of it, but it's still in line. He basically said to Will Smith that Will Smith was a decent actor, but he wasn't a great actor. And he needs to learn how to act properly. Yeah? When he was on set.
He said this in real life?
Yeah, I said it to Will.
In real life?
Yeah. Yeah? And then when they got to that episode, where the guy came playing his dad, and Will, there's a scene in it where Will does a very powerful scene where he's questioning his dad, like, why he's not there for him, because the dad comes to visit him, and then the dad's going to leave, like, abruptly again. And then Will questions him, like, Dad, where you going? He said, I gotta go, son. When am I going to see you again? And he's sort of giving him, like, bare question marks, no confirmed answers. So then Will gets mad and starts saying, how come you always do this? But when he goes into it, he's getting very passionate and starting to cry and stuff on set. And you can see in the scene where it goes onto Phil's face, he kind of does like a smile of pride towards Will. And he's basically telling him, that's how you act. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah?
That's crazy.
And the reason why I brought up that scene, because that scene is so powerful, it encapsulates how you can make a child feel when you keep on coming into their lives and going away, when there's no consistency or you just haven't bothered. So whether you haven't bothered or whether you come in and you come out, depending on the individual that's in receipt of that, the child, it will still do significant damage. It will still cause trauma. It will still cause harm. Do you know what I'm saying? And me knowing my sister, that was one of the main things that gave her trauma and, led her to a future of feeling somewhat not good enough. You know what I mean? Considering she's a warrior, when you see her in person, she's got a warrior spirit. She's quite strong. If you dig a little bit deeper, you will understand that she's a bit vulnerable, but her presence is quite strong and firm. Yeah. But even so, in the midst of that, there was always that yearning for wanting to be accepted by her biological father, and that wasn't really happening. So that caused her a problem. So I'm just saying, dads out there, be mindful of what you're doing, man, because you can be responsible for your child being diagnosed and feeling certain ways or going through certain lifetimes of struggles because of silly decisions and egos.
Yes, sir, yeah. No, facts. Well said.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, despite that, my sister, very strong, I'm not going to go into blurt out her entire life on there, but one thing I will say, although she had difficulties and struggles with being accepted by her biological father and let down, countless times by him as well, and possibly not feeling good enough, one thing that my sister, I'd say about my sister is for sure, not one thing, there's loads of things, but one particular thing I'd say about her is she didn't particularly feel that she had a plethora of friendships. Yeah? And when she passed away. Yeah. The alarming amount of friends from the past, from the present, some she was talking to at the time, some she wasn't, people she worked with, people from the local area, past friends she'd grown up with that she hadn't had contact with. The amount of people that came, the amount of people that came at an alarming rate and gave their testimonies about what she had done for them, or significant events where she had helped them or encouraged them to do better, or showed them this or showed them that, or they were feeling vulnerable and she turned up and she supported them. Bruv, it was crazy, because when I heard my sister saying to me, I could just move them out because I haven't got much friends like that or whatever, I've only got a handful of friends. From when she actually died, the amount of people that was in the hospital, and then afterwards the amount of contact that was made to my mum,
Wow, look at
especially.
that.
Yeah. I don't think my sister realised the imprint that she left on the planet, bruv. You get me? And to be quite honest with you, I wish she was able to be here to see that. I know she's probably seen it in spirit now, innit? But I just wish she was here for her to be able to see that those little things that she counted as small, and those friendships that she thought was minimal, the things that she done were big, and the friendships was major.
Yeah. When I'd come down, I saw there was one of the friends that turned up and was talking, giving her account. I was like, wow. And it's good. Even there might be people in our lives that we fall out with, but when they really respect you and respect the kind of person that you are, it shows the kind of heart that they've got. They're genuine. Do you see what I mean?
100%.
I mean, even my time, was very good. I went to see her one time when she was in Shirley. We spoke, regularly on the phone.
Yeah.
We just got on so well. She opened up about a lot of things. And I'm just forever grateful. To always to have known her in the time period that I did, the lovely person that she was, we never fell out. We always had that understanding, And I always said to her, even, the times where she had, as you do in life, sometimes you have your down moments. I always gave her that reassurance. I said, look, man, just let me know anytime, you just call me. I'm just down the road, come up, and it's not an invitation I give to everyone. I'm very, very wise when it comes to, things I say to people. You see what I mean?
Yeah. She spoke about you. She spoke about you quite a lot still, and she respected you a lot, guys, still.
No, man, I appreciate that. You know what I mean? I appreciate that, man. And as I said, she was truly a special person, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Her son is the legacy.
100%.
Very, very intelligent young man. And he's a blessing, man. We're thankful that she was blessed and fortunate to be able to leave, a young child that we can sort of remember her, through him. Because, you have some situations where, a sibling doesn't have any children and, the legacy finishes with them and then there's no future. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, man, honestly, just thinking now, just looking back at the last time I saw her, the conversation, honestly, man, yeah, I'm blessed, man. I'm just, as I said before, she was also come down as well. to meet the family and that, but obviously didn't. Yeah, such as life. Things happen.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, she was a warrior, man. You get me? Definitely a warrior. You know what I mean? A lot of things that she had been through, and she spoke to me about it and stuff, I thought to myself, like, I don't even know how you're still continuing to carry on, sis. Like, seriously, like, not that I'm saying she should do something to herself, but I think a lot of people would have broke physically and mentally with a lot of the things that she had been through, and she'd have her low points, but she'd just always find a way where you'd see her again in a very short space of time, and she's smiling, doing that little cartoon giggle she used to have and that. You know what I mean? Like, and I just thought like, my sister's proper strong, like, that's why it was a shock to me when she actually passed away. And another major thing for me personally with my sister as well, we didn't have the best relationship because obviously, for people that don't know, my sister didn't have a child living with her through intervention from social services. She was supposed to get support, but they didn't really support her like that. They mainly made the decision to remove the child. And then me and my partner, we took her child on. And we had some rocky parts of our relationship where it became challenging between us because of it. And I understand why. It's not easy for somebody to see their child living with, even though they wanted them to live with you. It's still not easy for somebody to see their child living with someone else. Do you get what I'm saying? And accepting it and feeling like they're fitting in and they're developing and doing well and stuff, and you didn't get to experience that because your child was taken at a fairly young age where you probably really didn't see much development. You get me? So I understand that, but at the same time, we had our challenges, and in the last, I'd say, 8 months of her life, I sat down and I spoke to her and I called the truth and I said, look, I don't know, I had a conversation with my missus, but there was something else that was deeper that made me approach my sister and say that. Because I ain't gonna lie, at that point she was kind of getting on my nerves a bit, but I still came with my tail between my legs and offered the olive branch. And I said, look, let's start again, bury everything in the past, and let's move forward and try again. Because I feel like I haven't made as much effort to be around you, call you, check on you, and learn to understand you and your situation. And I think I'm going to start making the effort to do that in order for us to improve, our relationship. And she smiled, genuine smile, gave me a big hug and said, thanks, bro. I appreciate it. And in all fairness, from that day, I don't even think there was a fucking argument, man. Even...
Oh, nice, man.
Yeah, even when I may have said something, not in an angry way, but you can say something that could be misconstrued and it could trigger her.
Yeah.
Even when I did do that a couple of times, because we called that truce, it's like she maintained a bit more self-discipline and didn't respond in a negative way. She'd more seek reassurance. Right, when you said that, did you mean this or did you mean that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, so it ended up working and we got on really well. And, I opened the floodgates a bit for her and, said, oh, come do this, come do that, come round this, that, stuff that I wasn't really doing before because of the clashes that we was having, you know what I mean, and how it could interfere with her son. And I'd say that last 8 months is probably the best, probably the most stronger part in the relationship that I've ever had with her before.
Wow, that's special, man.
Do you know what I mean? And when I sit back and I think about, well, what made me do that? Not that I regret doing it, because I don't. Yeah, but I think what pushed me to offer an olive branch to somebody that is getting on my nerves, because that ain't usually me, innit? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to wait for us to be on good terms before I try and do that. And I don't know, I just think it was I just think it was a God thing, bruv. You know what I mean? That's what I think. Like, I think God had a plan, and even though it was me and her was clashing, I was led to do that with God knowing she's got a short amount on the time on the planet left. She's got a short amount of time on the planet left, and I'm giving you enough time to clean up your situation because I got plans for her, and she's coming with me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll be honest with you. I've got a lot of respect for you, man. You know that you took on board your nephew. That's a blessing because it's quite a big responsibility. Do you know what I mean? It's life changing, and it's commitment. It's not just anyone or that would actually go out their way to do that. And even family sometimes can be selfish, and sometimes it might not necessarily be. Even if some family members want to do that, they have to do a very intense background check. So even so, if you do go up and put in an application, it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be appointed or accepted, because there are protocols and there are procedures that need to be followed when doing a background check. Are you capable of doing it? Do you have the right mindset? They do a check on obviously your health, criminal record check. It's intense. You know what I mean? Because they need to make sure that the place that the child is being put is a safe haven, that there's no underlying issues, there's no, safeguarding issues, there's no, anything that could potentially jeopardize that child. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, the assessment was deep, cuz. Very deep. The assessment to get my nephew was deep.
I can imagine, man.
Very, very intense, like 6 weeks worth of like video call interviews where we're on the video call talking for 2 hours a time for 6 weeks straight, answering all these questions from your youth. How was your youth? What did you go through? How were you parented? Then what do you think about how you were parented? What have you changed? How would you deal with this matter? How would you safeguard a child in this situation? What do you do for work? Have you ever had any allegations against you? They even interviewed me, bruv. Yeah, you get me? Like, it was deep. Proper.
If you got a criminal record, would that go against you?
I don't think it would go against you. It depends on how long ago the crime was done, what the crime is, and I guess how you've developed since then. Do you know what I mean? As long as it ain't, you can work with kids as long as your crime isn't to do with things like fraud and obviously like sexual abuse or stuff like that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
As long as there's nothing to do with that, then you can still work with children. If it was like theft or something, you did it 2 or 3 years ago, it might not be held against you as long as you're showing that you've developed. You might be more of a family man now, and you know what I mean, that kind of thing. So this is how you kind of explain your way out of it and make sense out of nonsense. Do you know what I mean? But the assessment was deep to get him. Eventually we got him because his placement broke down, and they called us like on the day. Oh, his placement's broke down because there's been an allegation from one of the other kids at his old placement. Are you willing to take him now? And I was like, raw. All right, you know what? Bring him. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
And they brought him, man, and then, Mrs. just like took him out next day, bought him all of the like bed, wardrobe, this, that, toys, clothes. Even when he came here from his old foster carers, bro, the clothes, bro, some of the things these foster carers get away with. The clothes that we asked the social worker to bring from the foster carers, they brought the clothes.
Yeah.
Bro, the clothes is like a black bag full of clothes that belong to previous foster care kids.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. He's trying to save money.
Nothing there was his blood.
Yeah, cutting cost exercise. Yeah,
and
that's what they do.
He's got eczema, so his skin was a bit mad. Like when he came here, and I was thinking, when I saw the clothes, I was like, no wonder why these clothes don't belong to him. These are other youth's clothes, bruv. Like, you should give him his own clothes, then his skin might have a bit of a chance. You get me? Got these old dusty clothes, you know.
Yeah, that's how I hold them, man.
Yeah, man.
That's how I hold them. Yeah.
That's
the thing with these organizations. They're all corrupt.
Get away with stuff, man, I tell you. You know what I mean? But, yeah, so they basically did that long assessment with us because they were just on a thing like, you know, he's at a detrimental age, he's free, he's moved around like how many times already, and basically what we don't want now is for him to be moved again. Where we decide where he stays is going to be of permanency. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you know? That makes sense.
Yeah, and even though they said that and they didn't really give my sister the chance to get him back, because they were adamant they didn't want that to happen, they offered me the chance to adopt him, and out of loyalty for my sister, and I always told my sister, I said, I'm not going to adopt him. You sort out what you got to sort out, do all the things that you got to do in terms of your therapy and this and that, you know what I mean? And then when you're proven to be in a stronger position where you're, you know what I mean, where you're not seen as a risk by anybody, then I'd even attend court with you and go about talking to a judge in terms of putting it in your favour where you can have maybe longer stays with him, or, do you know what I mean, and start working towards,
yeah,
do you know what I mean, having him back. But I'm like, with my sister, I was never going to adopt him. Not that I don't love him enough to adopt him, but I'm not going to adopt my sister's child when my sister was still here.
Yeah, no, I respect that.
You know what I mean? It's like
I respect that, yeah.
It's like I'm trying to steal a kid or something. That don't make no sense to me, and that's what social services was trying to push for. Do you know what I mean? And I kept on reassuring my sister that, no, I'm not doing that. You do what you gotta do. I'm leaving the door open. He's here, even if he stays there till 18, because that's the plan. That's cool. But if you can do what you can do, and the door's always open, you can kind of put yourself in a position where before it gets to that point where he's 18, you can kind of give yourself a chance again, because I'm going to continuously leave that door open for you. I'm not working with social services to that point where they can take him. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I mean, not they can take him, or they're going to tell us that we must permanently keep him and keep you out of the picture, because that's kind of what they kind of wanted. You know what I mean? To some extent. Just the visits. She just has the visits and that's it. You know what I mean? And now I was like, nah, it's got to be a little bit more than that. That's my sister, man. You know what I mean? I can't just... I had to have obviously some boundaries in there, but I can't regiment it full on like that. You know?
Wow. And, yeah, man.
Yeah, and throughout my sister's struggles and stuff like that, you know, watching her come and spend time with her son and stuff like that, like, it was a beautiful thing to see, man. Like, she was always at her happiest when she was with him. Like, my nephew, her son, was definitely her, what's the word I can say? Like her be-all and end-all. That be-all and end-all. That was like, you know when Popeye gets the spinach blood? You know what I mean?
I remember that, yeah, I remember that.
Without the spinach, Popeye's getting thumped up by Blue-O, you know?
I remember that, man.
Like, that's what she lived for, her son, rightly so. But even when he wasn't living with her, that is what she lived for. And it was just sad to see that when she passed, like, that was it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what upset me a lot about it, man. Like, bro, she passed now, like, the relationship, the fulfillment that she got out of seeing is not gonna occur no more. You know what I mean? The fulfillment that I see in her, it's not gonna occur no more. That's the saddest thing. It felt like he'd been robbed, so he's been really supporting little man and stuff, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Making sure that his head's right. He gets the opportunity to communicate. He's only young, you know what I mean? But he gets the opportunity to communicate, let out his feelings, setting up support in school for him and all sorts. So he's just got support where he can talk from all angles, whether he's at school or if he's at home, because I'm qualified to do that as well. He's got that support base. You know what I'm saying? So
that's beautiful, yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that all that helps, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, and before my sister died, I told my sister, my missus told my sister, you wanted him to stay with us. That was your blessing. And, we promised her that no matter what, we're going to make sure that he's perfectly okay in her name. And we'll always make sure that he remembers his mum for who she was. Do you get me?
No, that's beautiful, man. No, respect that. Yeah, respect that, man, yeah.
So, yeah, man. So, people, man, there's no time like the present. Yeah?
Right.
When you have tiffs, arguments, or beefs, if it's not major and it can be fixed or it can be resolved, find it in yourself to push the ego aside. If the person's worth it, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah? Because you can't just do that with anybody and then you inviting somebody back into your realm and they're going to cause you problems.
Facts.
Yeah?
True.
So if the person's worth it, yeah, you could have fallen out with a good friend that you've had for years. You haven't been speaking, you're like, oh, you know what? Fuck them, I'm not into them. Rare. But if the person's worth it, find a resolve, find a resolution, have a chat, wear your heart on your sleeve, try and fix it, man. Because the last thing you want to do, I'm glad I got the opportunity to do that with my sister. But you see, anyhow, it was a situation where me and my sister was still having clashes and she passed. Where I don't know how I'd be able to take that one, You know what I'm saying? I'm just so thankful to God that I was led. I was led to fix that before that happened. Don't put yourself in that position, people. If you can fix a relationship, a friendship, whatever, family ship, if you can fix it, if they're worth it, fix it. Because there's no time like the present. And then nowadays, there's a lot of people dropping, man, and you just can't vouch for. Life ain't promised. You have to be grateful that you see another day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well said, Verbz. Yeah, well said.
Anytime you get to wake up and smell fresh air, see trees, hear birds twerping, see the sun rise, you have to, man, show gratitude.
Give thanks, innit?
Give thanks. You know what I mean? So, yeah, man. Anything you want to say, Genius?
Yeah, R.I.P. To, prayers go out to you and the family. It's a tragic loss, man. And a reminder to us all that life is short. And we have to make the most of every day. I wasn't prepared for that, man. To be honest with you, the passing was just horrible, man.
Yeah, man. No one was, cuz. Everyone was as shocked as you were, man.
Yeah, man. But people, do your best to live good with your siblings, with your family. It's not worth it, man, because you end up living with regret for the rest of your life. Yeah, man.
100%, man. 100%, my bro. And is that your last words, or you got anything else to contribute?
No, that's it, man.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, then. So, people, this is a bit of a brief one, bit of a freestyle, but we hope you take some message from it. I hope you take some positives from it. You know, because at the end of the day, that's what we're about, putting things out there that other people don't really discuss and trying to trying to deliver it to you in a different way, a different style, where it might be a bit impactful, even though it's a freestyle. Yeah. So,
yes, sir.
Rest in peace to my sister.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Yeah, condolences to my family, my mum, my brother, godmother, you know, who was there when she passed. All the people that mattered and cared, her friends, her best friends, you know, that was there when she passed. Yeah, all the people them that mattered, man. All the people them that she left, you know, a positive impact on. You know, condolences to you, and I hope everyone grieves as best as they can. And we're all going to make that joint effort to keep my sister's name alive.
Nice one, Verbz.
Yeah? So,
yeah, man.
On behalf of me, Verbz, I'm going to say good night.
And good night for myself, Geniusdan. And stay safe out there, people.
Yeah, man, and have gratitude. Give thanks every day when you wake up, because not everybody wakes up. Yeah?
It's true.
And when you wake up, tune into us next week. We'll see you on the next episode of the Triggered Thoughts podcast.
Yeah.
You got cuz, yeah?
Yeah. Good night, man.
Nice one.